Today we will be demonstrating how simple it is to set up and run functional and responsive test automation through Awetest. Awetest is a simple, quick-to-deploy framework that facilitates all aspects of your functional, responsive, and API automated testing across web and mobile applications. Today we'll be testing SAP Fiori's trial application. SAP Fiori is the new user experience of SAP software, which include previous products such as SAP S/4HANA, SAP Simple Finance, and the SAP Business Suite. Using modern design principles, SAP Fiori provides a role-based experience across all lines of business, tasks, and devices. First, I'll show you the setup and framework behind the functional and responsive tests. Afterwards, once we're ready to execute, we'll run the test cases through Awetest. Then, we'll take a look at our reports and analytics to see the results of our automated tests. Let's go ahead and take a look at our first functional test case. This test is built to validate the content and search functionality of the employee lookup module in SAP Fiori. Let's open up Awetest and navigate to our web module where we have our uploaded feature file. Now we can take a look at the test script here in Awetest. We see here each line of the script has a specified object name that is receiving the written command. The object name references our object repository, which is created here in an Excel document. This contains identifiers for our various HTML elements which we can assign an object name to, which creates a data-driven framework powering our feature files. Now let's go back into Awetest and navigate to the MWeb module. As SAP Fiori is a responsively designed website, we can use the same script that we will use to validate web to validate mobile web. Responsive design means that the HTML elements will remain the same when viewed on mobile, and only the visual layout of the website will change depending on the screen breakpoint, which is essentially the screen size. Now, let's delve into our responsive setup. We use Gallon, an open source framework designed specifically for automating responsive testing. Gallon allows you to define various design and layout rules across different breakpoints for a given view and run scripts that can validate these rules simultaneously across multiple windows. Here we have our config file, where we have our breakpoints defined that will be tested on. And here we have our spec file, where we will be defining our rules to be validated. In this case, we're validating the My Accounts module. We'll be checking for the alignment of the Home button and the column count at various breakpoints. As you can see, the column amount varies depending on your breakpoint, with larger breakpoints having more and smaller having less. Now that we've set up our scripts to run, we can launch our first functional web test case. We'll navigate to the jobs page where we can create a job and specify which test case we'll be selecting. Here we choose employee lookup and select on Chrome. Then we'll hit run. The test will execute. And we can see validations happening in real time. Next, we can do the same thing for MWeb. We'll go to the jobs page, add a new job, select our devices, and execute. And now we can see 3 devices running the same test case on the employee lookup module as we had just done with web. Next, we can run our automated script for responsive testing. As previously discussed, we will launch a few windows to test the SAP site at various breakpoints. And now we're in the Fiori responsive project. We'll select web, go to jobs, and create a new job specifying the script that we want to test on, which is My Accounts page. Again, we'll select Mac, Google Chrome, and now we can go ahead and run. So our windows are launched here. and we'll see them run and validate our rules simultaneously for each breakpoint. Now that the validations are complete, we can go ahead and look at the reports from all of our previous runs. We'll switch back to the functional project and then navigate to our jobs module. From here, we'll click on what we just ran. And now we see the script with 12 validations and 0 errors. If we click Show All, we can see the details of each step. If we had had a failed step, we would have been able to hover over and see the reason why it failed, and subsequently click through and alter the test case for the purpose of debugging. Now let's see the results of our MWeb run. We'll click back through the jobs as we just had with web. Select the job. And just like web, we see we have 12 validations, 0 errors, with every step passing. Now let's see the results of our responsive test. We'll go back to our responsive project, go to Web, Jobs, and select our job. We'll download the gallon report through Awetest, which we can unzip and then open. We can click through and view the report for each individual browser window. Again, each one represented a different breakpoint. We'll expand all to view our rules, and we can see details by clicking on one. As you can see, this opens a screenshot showing a highlighted element which is being validated. Here we see all of our columns displaying correctly. For big desktop, we'll have the most columns here. We had 8 that we correctly validated. Now we'll go back out and check desktop device. Here we should be seeing 6 columns, and as we can see in the screenshot, we validated that correctly. For our mobile device, we should have 0. And finally, our tablet device will have 4 columns. All of our validated elements are correct for each breakpoint, meaning we have no errors. If we had had any errors, we would have seen it in the report and it would have displayed in the screenshots. So now you've seen how simple it is to set up, run, and check out the report of an automated functional and responsive test case through Awetest.